Good afternoon and welcome back. It's Angela here at So Bright Alpine Quilting, and we're here this afternoon, this beautiful sunny Thursday afternoon, to show you some techniques on machine applique. The pattern that we're using today is called Fleurs European Cushion Pattern, and that's from Carolyn Murphy of Freebird Designs. And we're using the Indah Blossoms template set, Indah Blossoms template set, which is this one here, and you can actually use the same template set to make 3 quilts or 3 projects. So you can use it for the Indah Blossoms quilt, the Fleurs table runner, and our Fleurs cushion. So the method that Carolyn likes to use is a machine method, and it uses fusible interfacing, which makes it really quick, and we're going to show you how we do that. So it's just a standard lightweight fusible interfacing, so it's just fusible on one side. And using our templates, we've selected the template that we're going to do today, and we're going to draw onto the non-iron-on side of the interfacing. You can use a fine pencil like your trio pencil, like your Soline trio pencil. This one has 3 different colours, so it has pink, white lead and the ordinary black lead. Or you can use a single chalk pencil, or you can use an ordinary HB pencil, whatever you've got at home. So it's just as easy as drawing around the template, and you just need to make sure that it's dark enough for you to see, because we're going to sew around that. You need to leave at least ½ an inch or just 1.5 centimetres around each one, between each one.
Kate.
Hello, Kate. And for this one we need 9 petals, but I'll just draw 4 at the moment. And then we select the fabric that we're going to use, and in this case we're going to make these little blue flowers. And if we want a fussy cut, we can cut between these and place the flowers, place the petals wherever we like along the fabric. But for this one, we're just going to take our chances and see what we get. Because, as we know, in nature, you have always got variation on the fabric, in the petals. So we come around to the machine. I don't know if Steve wants to come around or if he's going to do it from over there. I'll have a look. So I've just got the machine set up with a neutral thread, and I've got a number 12 needle in. This can be any sorts of number 12, and we're going to have a small stitch length about 2.5, and I'm using an open toe foot so I can see where I'm sewing. And we're just going to go down onto the line, do a couple little stitches and reverse, because we don't want any of this to come undone when we're stitching. And we're just going to sew around on the line is ideal, but if you miss it a little bit, don't be too caught up about it, because real petals are a slightly different shape as well. So when we get to the corner, we make sure we stop with our needle down, turn it around and just sew again, turning our fabric as we go, back to the start and reverse. And we're going to sew all of those petals, and then we're going to cut them out. So we're going to come back to the table, and we'll just cut around that one roughly. So it makes it a little bit easier for me to cut it out. So just using a nice fine pair of embroidery scissors. You want about a 1/8 3mm, 3 or 4mm seam allowance all the way around. And we're just going to cut that out. Now, here's where the magic happens. Because what we do, trim that off, get rid of all our little ends. If you take a hold of the fabric and the interfacing and separate them, and then you're going to put a little slit in the interfacing, and then that allows us to turn it through to the other side. And as you're turning it, poke your finger in and smooth out that line of the shape. And then we're going to take a handy little pokey tool like this one, or you can use a point turner, and we're just going to run that around and bevel that edge, and that makes the interfacing turn towards the inside, so that when we place it down on the fabric you shouldn't see it. And if you make sure that you've got the pointy tool tucked under the little seam allowance of interfacing and it's up against the fabric, then you'll get a smoother line. So when we're happy with that, we can finish all the rest of the petals, and then we'll work out, we'll pop it down onto the design and we'll place them all around, and then we'll iron them in place as we have done with these ones, and then we can sew around using however we like. If you can do it by hand if you like. I've done it here with a straight stitch, the same as Carolyn has suggested, and in this one here I've used a just a nice blendy thread, and on this little leaf here I've used a variegated thread just to give a little bit of interest as well. So I'll just show you how we go about sewing those on, and we'll sew on that petal and then we'll sew on the last one. So we come back to the machine again. This time we want a slightly longer stitch, so we're going to go up to about a 3, and we're going to move the needle slightly over so that we're running against the edge of the fabric against the edge of the foot. And we're just going to take our time and go around just catching that edge in. Reposition your hands and the fabric as you need to. I've got a knee lifter on this machine, so I can do it no hands, hands-free. So coming around. So what this does is when it's all finished, it allows this piece of the petal to puff up. Because if you're using Vlisaflix, which is a fusible web, it makes everything quite flat. And because we've got quite large shapes, it's nice that they actually sit up. Makes them look a little bit more lifelike. So then when we come back to the beginning, you notice that we didn't reverse in this case because we want to take the threads to the back and tie them off. So we just come out with a little bit of a tail, chop off the tails, turn that over, and it's not easy to see because it is, I've done a great job of matching the threads, but not so much easy for you to see. So then if you give a little tug on the bobbin thread, it pops the top thread from the front. So then you can just pop a pin in and pull those top threads through. And we have 2 on each side, and we're just going to tie a double knot. And then that secures our threads, and then we can trim them off.
Jenny Gola.
Hi Jenny.
And Esther May.
Hi Evelyn. And that's how we finish off those petals. So then we can come back with our centre, and we can place our centre over the top. We'll go to the ironing board and we can press that on, and then we can come back and stitch that on. I probably need to look for a nice, perhaps a variegated pink and red thread if I've got one, or just a a burnt orange sort of thread that I think would look good on that one. So we'll just take that back to there, and I'll show you this one here that we sewed earlier. So this petal here, we've drawn around, we've got 6 of those. We've trimmed around them, so all we need to do is separate them out, put a little snip and turn it through. So you can see how quickly you can create a beautiful composition for this cushion cover. If you want to keep going, just keep going, and you can make the table runner. Keep going and you can make a quilt. I find it quite relaxing. This is also something that you can do in the evening as well. You could get all the sewing done and then sit on the couch and watch your favourite show, have your scotch or whatever you'd like to have the drink of, and turn all your pieces in the right way. So then this flower here is going to come up, and we've got 6 petals coming around that with a nice centre. We've got a couple more leaves that we're going to pop in here, and here this one's going to go around this one, and we'll be done before we know it. So that's what we're looking for. We're doing this one here is the one that we're working on at the moment. So we've just done that big flower with its little leaf out the side, and we've just cut out some petals of this one and that little petal there and the other petal that's over at the corner that you can't see. If you've got any questions, feel free to make a comment, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. You can find these products on our website, or they're available in store. So you can either go to sewbright.com.au, or you can go in through the Great Australian Craft Show at craftalive.com.au. Thanks for watching, and tomorrow morning we'll be back at 11 o'clock with another demo for you. We'll see you then. Thanks. Bye-bye.